Hello, my name is Amara Jones and welcome to Caffeine TV, your daily video news brief, here to take you through 3 headline numbers in just 3 minutes, giving you a different take on everything from housing policy to the Real Housewives. Well, the first number up is 55, that's as in 55%, which is the proportion of Scots who voted yesterday to remain within the United Kingdom, which means that the United Kingdom won't be falling apart. Now, what's interesting is that the original Act of Union, which brought together England and Scotland into the same country way back in 1707, was actually passed while a Scottish family sat on the English throne. But I guess people can take a look at what they've done and figure out how they feel about it. Now, for the rest of us, what's good news is that we won't have to worry about the disintegration of a major country in the world. And in a year in which the disintegration of countries around the world has caused a great deal of suffering for those within them and those without them, those outside of them, this is good news. And the fact that the Scots have voted to remain peaceably under one roof with the rest of the United Kingdom and not burn the house down is actually a really positive sign and something that, given 2014, we'll take. The next number up is 6, as in the iPhone 6. Yeah, you guessed it. It's related to the release of the new phone today, where tens of thousands of people in the United States and millions around the world are lining up to buy the latest iGadget. Now, you may remember earlier this year when tech companies released data on diversity and who works for them, and Apple actually fares pretty well. 6 out of every 100 people, for example, who work for Apple are black. That's 6 times greater than the number of black people who work for Facebook, where only 1 out of 100 who work there are black. But in the lowest level jobs in Silicon Valley that are not necessarily on the books, but those that are in security and in groundskeeping and in janitorial services, those are overwhelmingly occupied by people of color. And so as we line up and as consumers, it perhaps is more than fair of us to ask whether or not the principles of egalitarianism and fairness, which is the way these products are marketed to us, are actually reflected in by what the companies do. Do they actually practice what they're selling us? The last number up is 100. That's as in 100,000. That's the number of people that organizers believe will participate in the People's Climate March this weekend. Will take place in New York on this Sunday in advance of the UN Climate Summit next week, where leaders from around the world will gather in what scientists believe may be the last-ditch, best hope effort to do something before we destroy the planet. Now, what's important is that the core message of the this march is climate justice. And that's pivotal because 96% of the people who die around the world from disaster-related deaths are poor. Here in New York City, poor neighborhoods that were ravaged by Sandy continue to struggle and suffer. Not to mention, 9 years later, the Lower Ninth Ward in New Orleans continues to look in many ways as it did the day after the storm. And so this all points to the fact that climate change, environmentalism is not an issue about tree hugging. It's actually a core issue of right and wrong. Well, that's all we have time for today. Thanks for joining us here on Caffeine. We'll see you back here on Monday. Have a wonderful and fantastic day. Please find and talk to us on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Vine, and Instagram, and tell everybody about us. And thanks again.